Today we are going to discuss about the Warburg effect in cancer cells. To understand that, we have to first look what happens to the glucose in the cells when oxygen is present and absent. Let's have a look to a normal cell when oxygen is absent. In absence of oxygen, the glucose is converted to pyruvate by a process called the glycolysis. As oxygen is not present, oxidative phosphorylation will not occur and pyruvate will be changed to lactate continuously, and 2 ATP molecules are produced per mole of glucose by the glycolysis. Now, what happens to the glucose in presence of oxygen in a normal cell? In presence of oxygen, the glucose is first converted to the pyruvate in cytoplasm by the process called the glycolysis. Then pyruvate in the mitochondria, in the presence of oxygen, the oxidative phosphorylation and Krebs cycle occurs, and 36 ATP molecules are produced mole of glucose. Fine. This is the normal scenario with the cells. In early 20th century, Warburg, a German physiologist, observed that cancer cells had increased rates of glycolysis despite the availability of the adequate oxygen levels. He called this effect as aerobic glycolysis or Warburg effect. That is, even in the presence of oxygen, first the glucose is converted to pyruvate by glycolysis. Even in the presence of oxygen, the oxidative phosphorylation is blocked in the cancer cells, and this is called the aerobic glycolysis, and the shift is called the Warburg effect. So, in cancer cells, there is increased uptake of glucose called the glucose hunger. This increased uptake of glucose is due to increased expression of CLOT1 receptor, which facilitates the transmission of glucose across the cell membrane. So when we have increased amount of glucose inside the cell, there is increased glycolysis, that is increased conversion of glucose to pyruvate, and due to significantly reduction of oxidative phosphorylation, the pyruvate is converted into lactate continuously. That is increased accumulation of lactic acid, which decreases the pH. All this happens in the presence of oxygen. That is a major shift. That's what we call the Warburg effect. Thanks for watching. For more such videos, just follow my page.